What's up, guys? Dane Davis here. Shout out to Boogie Bentley Dauber and the Indie Kid over at Talkin VAWLS Network on YouTube. VAWLS fans, head over to their YouTube channel, Talkin VAWLS Network. Smash that like button and subscribe, baby. Go Big Orange.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS podcast. My name is the Indie Kid. This is the day after Tennessee Tech edition. Before we get into the recap of the game, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tennessee wins 56-0 over Tennessee Tech, a game that was never in doubt. Tennessee got up early, and they took care of business, as they should, yesterday. That's the first shutout that they've had in a long time. And it was good to see that defense. They played a good game yesterday. The defense forced turnovers, something they hadn't done the first two games. They were stout again in the running game. Just a good overall day for the defense. The offense did some good things. They still have a lot to work on as well. It's going to be interesting to see who the quarterback is this week as Tennessee travels down to Florida. Not sure if it'll be Milton or if it'll be Hooker. I think it's going to depend on if – I almost wouldn't be surprised if Milton's healthy, if he doesn't start. Part of me could also see both quarterbacks play this week. But I'm not sure on that. I would expect most of the guys who were out for injuries yesterday to return against Florida. I wonder, too, if that would have been Florida yesterday, if they may have played even then. But it'll be nice to get Cooper Mays back. It'll be nice to get Jabari Small. Him and Evans are definitely your 1-2. They're definitely your top two running backs. I thought Hendon Hooker did some good things yesterday. He's got to be better with the ball, though, when he's running. He had two fumbles. He had one turnover. 199 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Harrison Bailey went 3-7. Harrison Bailey had a rushing touchdown as well. And how do these quarterbacks develop moving forward? I think there's a lot of impatience with Harrison Bailey that it needs to be now or transfer. Harrison Bailey has time to develop. And who knows, his time may come this year. I think it was pretty obvious. I do think he is behind the other two guys. But I think he's going to be fine moving forward. And I believe that who gives you the better chance next week, Hooker or Milton? That's kind of my question. Who gives you the better chance? Who's going to throw it better? I do think Hooker is more elusive with his feet than Milton, but Milton can make plays also. Which guy is going to take care of the ball more? That is the thing. Both of them have had fumbles throughout the first 3 games. So they've got to do a better job when they get hit of holding on to that football. Offensive line, I thought, struggled yesterday. Josh Heupel did mention in the postgame, it's not just the line. He said it's the tight ends occasionally missing blocks. It's the running backs not going through the right read, not bouncing it outside, not cutting it in. It's a total effort on that, according to Josh Heupel. And something that's a big topic on there, and Heupel mentioned great effort, great energy yesterday. I think a lot of people are misunderstanding me when I mention effort. If you're going to win, you got to have effort. I'm just at that point, and I'll kind of clarify myself here on this when we talk about effort, is, yeah, that's great. You want to see them give an effort, and they have through the first 3 games, but I want to see that effort correlate. I want to see it translate into a win. That's what I mean by the whole thing. Yeah, if they're not trying, we're going to be upset about it. And we saw that at times last year. But where does this team go? Josh Heupel mentioned the last 2 weeks, the 48 hours leading up to it. He didn't. He said especially Pitt. He said he thought it was better this week, but he thought the mental aspect for Tennessee was not. He said it wasn't good against Pitt. He thought it was better this week. And it does show it was better because there were a lot less penalties. They were more disciplined this week. Guys were making plays. Energy's there. It is, for sure. And Yeah, you do like to see that, but at some point, when you get into these games that are kind of toss-ups or you have a chance to win, you got to get over that hump. And who knows? It may not happen this year. They're getting ready to go through a tough stretch of games right now. There's some winnable games in there. There's definitely some losable games. None of them, I think they may be favored against South Carolina. We'll see where that goes going forward. I don't expect them. They're definitely not going to be favored against Florida. I don't expect them to be favored against Missouri nor Kentucky. They're definitely not going to be favored against Alabama. Those are before the bye. I think Kentucky's actually after the bye, if I'm not mistaken. May be wrong on that. But I do know Tennessee goes to Florida this week. Haven't seen a line on it yet. I would imagine Florida is going to be at least a 2-touchdown favored, if not more. How does Tennessee compete this week? They're going to face some adversity this week. This is their first road game. How are they going to deal with that adversity? Will it kind of shake them, or will they respond well to it? Night game in the swamp, you got to think the crowd's going to be pretty rowdy. I don't know from Florida's perspective how much they view this as a rivalry more. They unfortunately, guys, Florida has owned Tennessee for the better part of 20 years now. Last time Tennessee won the swamp was 2003. Do I think Tennessee can go down and be competitive? I do. But they're going to have to be disciplined. They can't go down and have a bunch of penalties or turnovers. Or Florida, as most, if not all of you seen yesterday, Florida took Alabama down to the wire, lost by 2 points. So that is a good Florida team. It's in the swamp. It's at night. It's going to be a tough task for Tennessee. But my hope coming in this week is it is a team that takes another step and grows. That it is a game come the fourth quarter, that they're still in it, that they have that shot, that they make Florida sweat a little bit when the game's on the line. Yeah, I fully expect Florida to win. They're the better team. And Tennessee, even years where I thought Tennessee maybe had a better team in Florida, they found a way to lose in the swamp. It's one of those deals, we've said it on air, where we have to see it to believe it. There's been some weird things happen in games in Gainesville for the last, going back to 2003, last time Tennessee won. Ever since then, there's been some weird games. There's been some butt weapons, and there's been some just blowing some games along the way. I'm excited to see how this team does. First SEC game. I'm excited to see how they compete. And what I mean when I say that is, are they going down there with a chip on their shoulder, or are they going in timid? For the last 3 years, this game has not even been close. No year has it been close. Florida's blown Tennessee out all 3 years, the past 3. Do these guys go in with that in the back of their minds? Or do they go in thinking they can win? Some of these guys were there when Franks hit the long throw to beat Tennessee 4 years ago. Some guys were there. So there are guys on this team when Tennessee beat Florida 5 years ago. So some guys have tasted it. They've experienced it. How does Tennessee go in to this? Josh Heupel said yesterday that they can go even faster than what they've been going. And they're going at a pretty high speed rate. I love it. I love the speed of the offense. I like the fast-paced tempo. It does require discipline. It does require hitting those assignments, though. But we're seeing wide receivers. Some guys made plays yesterday. We're going to need them to make plays again this week. Defense had some turnovers yesterday. Tennessee's going to need turnovers if they want to have a shot this week. They can't play undisciplined, and they're going to have to change the field position some. How does Tennessee respond when they get punched in the mouth? I don't think it's a matter of if. It's going to be because Florida has a good offense. They're going to be tough to stop. Tennessee's been really good against the run. Can they contain Florida with the run? You got to prepare for the dual threat quarterback in this game, more so than any other game so far this year. How does Tennessee handle that? Because you're going to see it when that play breaks down. You may see Jones take off. He's good at it. But this is a good game for Josh Heupel to show we are making progress. We're a program on the rise. Yeah, it may take some time. Yeah, people get down. Myself, when there's a loss, it's just, man, I just hate to lose. But one of the main things we said coming into this year, we all had our wins and loss picks, but where does this program go from start to finish? Does the program improve? Do the players improve as the season goes along, or do they just get stagnant and stay in place? I think we're going to see improvement. I think there were things we saw yesterday were good. There were things you got to work on out of yesterday. The line's got to be better, but I'm really curious to see getting Cooper Mays back and moving Carvin back to his natural position of guard. I think that'll make a big difference. Excited to see this game, and maybe it ends like the rest of the Florida games have gone for the better part of the last 20 years. But I want to see what a Josh Heupel offense can do in the SEC against a Florida. Florida held Alabama to 31 points yesterday. And that's a tough Alabama offense. So shows me Florida defense is not too bad. So can Tennessee I think Tennessee, just off the top, I think they'll score some points. I don't necessarily know if they'll get up in the 30s, but the question is, how many points do they give up? I would be surprised if Tennessee just gets stopped, but quarterbacks are going to have to hit deep passes. That part of the game has got to get better. We've seen it from Hooker and Milton. Neither guy are hitting deep balls. And, sometimes it's on the receivers too. Even if it's an underthrown pass, sometimes you got to help the quarterback out. So it's all aspects of it is not clicking in terms of the deep ball. But some guys made some plays. Definitely think there's some playmakers at that receiver spot. But be on the lookout Tuesday night. Live Talking VAWLS, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and then we'll be with you. I think the plan is we'll go do the tailgate before the game next Saturday. So that'll be probably around 6. And then we'll be live post-game next Saturday night as well. But thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good Sunday. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. My name is the Indie Kid. Go VAWLS.